You're listening to the Monday Night Community Show with Daniel on BRFM.
This is the Daniel Monday Night Community Show on demand through YouTube. Thank you very much for choosing to listen to us through this method. If you'd like to keep up to date with when I add new interviews, then subscribe to this channel. So we're now going to be talking on the phone to John. Now, John, firstly, thank you very much for joining us. I was hoping you could introduce yourself to our listeners.
Oh, right. Well, my name is John Pratty. I'm what we call a creative producer, creative digital producer, and I work at IdeasTest, the Arts Council-funded Creative People and Places project in North Kent, and we're just about to open a really, really cool new building in Sittingbourne High Street at number 34, opposite Macari's Cafe, where we're going to be doing a load of little digital learning and film and community and maker and art events.
So is this a new role because you're moving into this building?
It's basically it's a new building. It's kind of refurbished double-fronted shop, which used to be for the last year or so called Workshop 34, funded by I think Swale Borough Council and Kent County Council as part of the Recreate funding from Europe. So it's all nice, clean, sparkling, painted, carpeted, and looking really brand new on the inside. And just this week, we've got the builders painting the outside of the building as well.
So you're fitting it out specifically for your purpose?
Well, there will be an IdeasTest office upstairs where we will be administrating our work and developing the programme of events in the building. But there's a range of different rooms and facilities there. So upstairs we've got quite a large meeting room, big white room at the front, and at the back we've got a smaller meeting room which can be used for all sorts of things, all sorts of community meetings. And there's a kitchen and a kind of seating area. And then downstairs, the really sort of quite exciting part of the space, there's what will be a small performance area where we'll show films, and there will be talks and events like poetry and all of this sort of poetry and that kind of stuff. And then also downstairs at the front of the shop, the right-hand side of the building, as you look at it from opposite, there's going to be a display by the Spirit of Sittingbourne people, who are a really important development and sort of, it's a development and regeneration campaign, which the Cathedral Development Group are behind, and also the local council. So it's all about Sittingbourne, and it's all about people in Sittingbourne. So there'll be a display about that downstairs in the building as well.
So I understand you're looking to get more people involved, you were telling me just before we started this interview.
Yeah, absolutely. So at the moment, what we're keen to do is to reach groups of young people. We're keen to reach people from the community who are interested in culture and creativity, but also people who are looking to restart their careers. They might be wanting to get back to work after being away raising a family. And we're also interested in people who might be wanting to look to start their own business. So we are going to be opening up some of our space to people to use computers and to use desk space, so they might be beginning to start their own company, what we call a small to medium-sized enterprise, an SME. So there will be sort of creative space, there will be events, there will be poetry or performance or films, but also there'll be room to bring in people who are maybe looking to start their own business, and first of all they might want some advice about how to do that, which we're developing some expertise on, and they might want a place to do it. So we're also going to have some desk space for people to come and use a computer, or maybe a couple of days a week actually start their own business from the space.
So are you the person that's organising all of this, or are you just working on the IdeasTest part of this?
Well, the whole programme at number 34 is run by IdeasTest. and I'm the creative producer developing the programme of activity in the building. And I can be emailed and phoned up about that. And the details of that will be on the IdeasTest website. And that will be, so basically it's my job to pull the programme together, and it's my job to come up with ideas to bring people into the building. And that's IdeasTest's work.
So I understand there's another event you wanted to quickly let our listeners know about.
Oh, yes, exactly, yes. On November the 28th, Saturday, November the 28th, is the day the streetlights go on in the High Street in Sittingbourne. So as things get dark at the end of the afternoon, it's all going to be, I think the streets are closed off, which will be fantastic. And we've got a couple of things happening at number 34 in Sittingbourne High Street. At the moment, we're talking with Lisa Alton, who runs these fantastic maker markets for a company that she runs called Future Foundry. So on November the 28th, we'll have young student creatives or illustrators or potters or people who make things putting up stalls outside number 34. And these are people actually who've not long been out of college, but they've already started to sell their wares and their objects that they make at these maker markets. What's really interesting about these is that they're not stuck in a gallery or stuck in a sort of framing shop somewhere in a high street. These are young people making things and taking them out and selling them in markets. It's like it would be a bit like EastEnders, some artist suddenly pops up in the middle of EastEnders. So Lisa's Young Maker Market is going to pop up outside number 34 on the afternoon of November the 28th. There's all sorts of stuff happening when Lisa does one of these markets. There's singing, there's talks, there's the stalls, there's people showing how they make things. So it should be quite interesting to see. So that's free. Do turn up. That's the afternoon of 28th of November, the day that the streetlights go on.
So is there anything else you'd like to get over to our listeners or let them know about?
Well, I think it's a great opportunity, actually. The building and the investment that Cathedral Group have put in and the local councils have put in. It's a great opportunity to start to try to do something with culture and digital skills and community participation in a really joined-up way, which actually starts to reach people of all sorts in Sittingbourne. So this is not what you might sort of think as an elitist or a high-end art activity. This is actually learning and digital and business skills and developing your confidence to come back to work. It's a really broad range of sorts of activity that we really hope will be attractive to everyone in Sittingbourne and around.
Well, if you're happy you've covered everything for this interview, I'd like to thank you very much for taking the time out to let our listeners know all about it.
That's really kind. Thank you ever so much, Daniel. And maybe if I could just tell you the web address, if people want to find out more, they can go to IdeasTest, that's all one word, ideastest.co.uk. And we'll be putting lots of info up about number 34 as soon as we get nearer to opening the doors officially. We're actually officially opening our doors for our big open day on December the 5th. That's Saturday, December the 5th, from 11 o'clock till 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And there'll be all kinds of things going on in the space, from strange coding, strange toy construction and making, and all sorts of poetry and singing and a range of different weird stuff going on there. So anyone who's interested is welcome on December the 5th. And we'd very much love to meet you at number 34 High Street in Sittingbourne.
John, thank you very much.
Cool. Thanks very much, Daniel.